great way to start the week. A special live stream. I don't know what Doug's camera is doing, so I'll just go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Big Sarge. If you don't know who I am, it's right there in the nameplate. And our special guest tonight is Dr. Ali Muhammad. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Sorry if I am. Of the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. And there's Doug.
That's me, Drill Sergeant here of Political Drain, of Sons of Liberty, and Closer to the Edge as well. And I'm also extremely happy to be hearing from Dr. Mohammed. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, 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 great, great. How are you all tonight?
I'm excellent.
Very,
I
very
just had tacos, so my day is complete. All right.
Woo.
I'm going to let you introduce yourself because who knows better than you?
Very, very good. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who do, I'm Dr. Ali Mohammed, MD. I'm the national leader of the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. To give you some breakdown, the Revolutionary Black Panther Party, we're the continuity in the context of saying the same of the 60s, but we have modernity that we have added to that dynamic. So we are the continuity. Some of the principles that we've added is just the fact that we believe in the dynamic of the principles of life: food, clothes, shelter, training, and defense. So, in addition to the 10 points that was established in 66, updated in 67, and in 72, we have 5 principles that we've added to that, which is to feed, clothe, shelter, train, and defend the people. In that context, we do consider ourselves, according to international law, the Geneva Convention, Inter-American Commission, as militarized, but also domestically, according to the Second Amendment, as a militia in that juncture. So we are, how would I say, structured in a way that we have a chain of command that makes sure that the mission and purpose at hand is always in accordance with um, the safety and the basic objective of the people.
Those, what are, let's talk about the first 10, and I mean, well, I guess 11 um, rules or ideals from the 60s that before you added on the last five.
Okay, very good. So you mean you want me to go over them?
Well, just name them because I'm sure no, I'm sure very few people here actually know it, and my
Well,
knowledge on it is sketchy at best.
very, very true. So, point number one, we want freedom. We want the power to determine the destiny of our Black community. In that juncture, we believe that Black people will not be free until we're able to determine our destiny. Point number two, we want full employment for our people. We believe that the federal government is responsible and obligated to give every man employment, every person employment, or guarantee income. We believe that the white American businessmen will not get full employment, that the means of production should be taken from the businessmen if that is the context and placed in the hands of the community. I'm gonna do the basic points though. Point number three, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our Black community. Point number four, we want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Point number five, we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this decadent American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and the role and our role in present day society. Number six, we want our Black men, and this had actually got adjusted in 67 and 72, but this was point number six at that time. We want our Black men to be exempt from military service. Seven, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of Black people. Eight, we want freedom for all Black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. Nine, we want all Black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in a court by a jury of their peer group, or people from their Black communities, as defined by the Constitution of the United States. And point number 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. And then we cite in that this particular piece from the Declaration of Independence, which says, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal stations to which the laws of nature, nature's God, entitled them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inevitable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derived their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish and to institute a new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness, prudence indeed. And then it goes on to the entire dynamic. I will go over the 1967, because in 1967 we made some minor adjustments, and then we also did so in 1972. But I will go over the simple parts of it, meaning that I'm not going to go over like the whole narrative, but I go over the basic parts of the 10 point. Give me 1 second. So 1967 points. Any other while I'm actually going to go over the points, any questions about what I just mentioned?
Nah, it seems pretty straightforward. I'm glad you mentioned them though, because um, I'm not sure that. Well, let's speak to the education. Knowing the education that we have, especially in the South, I don't think that, as we'd say in Columbia, nail one of them would have ever been mentioned when the name Black Panthers or the Black Panther Party has come up. Whenever anybody has been graced enough to even learn about them in school. So I'm glad that you said all of that and all those points, because that is a much different perspective. Is a much different narrative than has been painted about what it is you guys do.
I appreciate that, and definitely it is important that people truly understand what position we have. So what happened with point number 6, where it talked about military exemption, it was replaced with we want completely free health care for all black people. And
Mm.
then in 67 that changed to we want completely free health care for all black and oppressed people. So everything in 66 and 67 was similar, with exception to how point number 6 and I think it was point number 2, how we made some adjustments. But I'm gonna go over 72, 1972 update. So 1972, which was the last time we really officially updated it collectively as a consensus. We want freedom. We want the power to determine the destiny of our black and oppressed communities. Point number 2, we want full employment for our people. Point number 3, we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black and oppressed communities. Point number 4, we want decent housing fit for the shelter of human beings. Point number 5, we want decent education for our people that expose to the true nature of this decade in American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. Number 5, we want completely free health care for all black and oppressed people. Point number 7, which is very important, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people, other people of color, and all oppressed people inside the United States. So whenever somebody stands up and they say whatever the Black Panther Party's position is on other people being oppressed, point number 7 makes clear what we're talking about. We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people, other people of color, and all oppressed people inside the United States. And we've taken that even further to make it the international dynamic. We're connecting to oppressed people all over the world. We want immediate end to all wars of aggression. We believe that the various conflicts which exist around the world stem directly from aggressive desires of the United States ruling circle and government to force its domination upon the oppressed people of the world. We believe that if the United States government or its lackeys do not cease these aggressive wars, It is the right of the people to defend themselves by any means necessary against their aggression. Number 9, we want freedom for all Black and oppressed people now held in U.S. federal, state, county, city, and military prisons and jails. We want trials by jury of our peers for all persons charged with so-called crimes under the laws of this country. And number 10, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, peace, and people's community control of modern technology. And same dynamic, when during human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another. So that is the 10 points, and it's imperative that we understand that when it comes to dealing with the party, because those objectives are what we stand on, and these are measures that are fair and just for any people. Our background, and what a lot of people get confused about, is the fact that when it comes to race in this country, it's such a very trivial thing. You know, race started in 1676 after the Bacon Rebellion, which is when black slaves and white slaves got together in America to fight against the ruling class, to fight against slavery. The ruling class then in turn created the social construct called race. That's what they did. And with that social construct of race, they created white privilege, they created racism, and they created white supremacy and racial warfare. And that was, in essence, to beguile the average or the impoverished and the everyday white person in America, that because you have this color, you have a privilege over others while we oppress everybody the same. So that's been a trick that's been used quite a long time. Like even when it comes to the dynamic of certain necessities like healthcare, like staples for food and things like that. We know that red states happen to be the predominant states for EBT, SNAP, health, all of that stuff, all this HUD, everything that's actually needed for human survival. The red states tend to be the majority, but a lot of people in those areas vote and act against their self-interest because they're manipulated by racism and by rhetoric and rabble rousing and race baiters, and that's an unfortunate thing. Which is why the first time recently when the shutdown happened and the EBT dynamic wasn't you know active as well, you notice that in those states there was a plethora of people at the food bank, and it's a very interesting dynamic, to the extent that when FDR created a New Deal, it was considered a patriot. It was say it was the most patriotic thing in America when he created a New Deal. That's what people were saying. But the New Deal, was governed to white people first in America, including even veterans. Black veterans couldn't really get any type of like the VA bill, or I'm sorry, the GI Bill, or different loans that were governed for veterans. At first, that didn't happen. Even FHA and HUD was a white thing, and black people wasn't getting it, and basically it was considered patriotic. It wasn't until Dr. King, fought so much around the '60s, and the Voting Rights Act and the Housing Act and all these different things that he fought for got into fruition, to the extent that LBJ was like, I think I just lost, the South to the Republican Party, and that's when they transitioned over. But the point I wanted to make is the fact that when he did that, and black people start being inclusive, black people start being included in the social services and housing and in employment. This is when the racism began to start getting heavy with that. So in the '70s, they came up with the welfare queen myth. There was a woman in Chicago by the name of Linda. I can't think of her name right now, but she was considered an anomaly, But Reagan is the one who helped to create and exacerbate that myth, but it didn't start until we start getting some of those services. But FDR, that New Deal wasn't made for us, directly, anyways. And for a long time until Dr. King fought for it, we really weren't getting it. But yeah, so that's the context of that. But I'm here for any questions. I'd like questions, so I'm here for any questions that you all may have, or that some of the listeners may have.
Got one for you. Uh, Paul asked, "How do you feel? Do you feel that the U.S. government is capable of using federal taxes to fund free healthcare?"
Well, here's the thing. They play with us because when you start getting into politics, and you see really what that's about. So you saw what's written in the actual Constitution. It speaks of the public welfare, and it talks about, don't misquote me on. I know it's like Section 8. Is it Article 2, Section 8, where it speaks about that the Congress is supposed to use taxes for the public welfare. I'm paraphrasing that. So here's how the political scheme of things work. Whenever we talk about politics, sometimes people be like, "Oh, you're a Democrat. They started the Ku Klux Klan." Yeah, but the Republicans started the actual Jim Crow. The question is why, and what are the roles? So traditionally, Democratic Party have used welfare, or the taxes, the money from taxes, for the people. For healthcare, for food, for housing, and that's what Even to the context when they say the Ku Klux Klan coming out the Democratic Party, even in that juncture, the Ku Klux Klan was focused on what they was talking about is the social norms of the society. That's what they were on, right? They wanted this whole thing, to be like it was prior to the Emancipation Proclamation and Reconstruction for the society. But the Republican side, their whole dynamic is the corporations. So the point in America is that taxes is going to be used regardless. The question is, who is it used for? So the Republicans use the taxes for the corporations. Like, for example, the biggest welfare queen in history is Elon Musk. He got $38 billion in welfare off the back of US taxpayers. Not 1 billion that he has came from himself, not at all. All of his business didn't come from SpaceX. It didn't come from Tesla. It came from the U.S. government, and he put it there. And all this inflated figure about how he's the world's richest man is an inflated figure that he himself is a part of creating. What is based on the potential that SpaceX and Tesla can be. But the point, not to get off topic, the point is that that's what the argument is about, and that's what the beguilement is about. Those who talk against, I don't want them taking my taxes to give to people, whatever. That they're gonna take your taxes. The question is, who are they gonna give it to? Are they gonna give it to the corporations, or are they gonna give it to the people? Because they're taking taxes. And the next thing is that in all modernized countries, housing is typically free, food is typically free. Some places even utilities are free. You have a child, they give women stipends for having children. America has become the only country that take these taxes from people and give it to corporations instead of giving it back to the people. Your taxes are supposed to go back to you, and it's supposed to go back to the people. It's supposed to go for your health care. It's supposed to go for your housing. The only thing I feel that you should be paying, yourself for, if you want like a luxurious car, that's what you went to, and luxury, yeah, that's your thing. But as far as housing and food and healthcare and education, those things are supposed to be a part of any system, regardless of what people think. Whether they say, oh, that's social, whatever they want to put on it, that's a part of, um, I'm going to say, functional society. And I hope I wasn't too long-winded in answering that question, but the taxes is supposed to be for you and not for corporations. And again, that's how they trick people. So all these, MAGA people, yeah, I don't, that's socialism. I don't, but it's okay. Elon Musk is still $38 billion. You're gonna let a South African scammer roll up and scam you out of $38 billion, and that's okay. You're gonna let them roll up in the government and create the thing they call Doge, coming out of Curtis Yarvin School, who is the ideological father of Vance, of JD Vance, and Elon Musk. You're gonna let Curtis Yarvin's philosophy hijack you. What is Curtis Yarvin School? And his work, the butterfly, is it called the butterfly revolution 2022? He wrote about Trump's second term in office. He talked about how it was just going to be performative, but they're going to really be running things behind the scene. And he created something called RAGE, which is remove all government employees. That's Doge, same exact thing. And they went in there, hijacked, chopped up, did all the foolishness they wanted to do. And this man is destroying the country in the worst way that you could ever imagine. He doesn't care about it. It's like he has a chip on his shoulder, and he shows everything that's what his intentions are. The dynamic of his history, being they say he was Krasnov and he was a Soviet spy for a long time, and there's evidence to believe that. You know how he went into depth and got out of depth. He used to be called the king of depth, and not to be long-winded on that, but my point.
Too late, man. Too late. Keep going.
Yeah, but my point with all of that, Curtis Yarvin said that people talk about, a lot of people, they start talking about, the international bankers and the Rothschilds and I mean, we in a new day. Some of the Rothschilds, they ain't even alive no more, like the ones people talk about. Now we got Bezos. Now we got Zuckerberg. Now we got Gates. Now we got Soros, and they all the same, whether it's on the left or the right. Now we got these people, and these particular people are your modern day so-called Rothschild mythology that people put together. These are the people that are under Curtis Yarvin's idea of they want what they call a techno authoritarian society where they breaks us. They say they want to destroy government. What is Curtis Yarvin's philosophy? Look him up. He says that the people under his ideology and power, he said, just do whatever you want to do. He said, push the buttons. He said, just keep on doing it and see how far you could go. Don't stop. And this is Trump's whole thing. He'll send ICE out. They'll beat people up, slam them, do whatever. Just keep on going and push the button. Go and invade another sovereign nation, violating the Geneva Convention, violating international law, kidnap their leader, steal their oil, it's like a gangster and a pirate. Just do whatever you want to do anywhere in the world, anywhere where you at in your own country, because that's what Curtis Yarvin's philosophy is. He said, just do whatever. He said, sabotage it all, create this authoritarian
Network state.
techno state where Silicon Valley runs everything. No longer big oil, but now technology, and that's where we're at right now. And so that's how deep that stuff is. But that's Elon Musk's ideological father and J.D. Vance's as well.
I got another audience question. Is it true the early Black Panthers had a lot of Black World War II veterans?
Yes, as a matter of fact, the original symbol of the Panther actually came from a special brigade of a Black unit in the military. I'm trying to think, was it the 76? Give me a second.
763rd Tank Battalion, if I think I know.
Yes.
Part of Patton's Third Army.
Yes, absolutely.
This is all you got to do is say, Sarge, what was the name of that? What was the name of that group again? If it has anything to
I
do
might
with
have the Tank Battalion number wrong.
761st Tank Battalion. Yeah, 761st. Yes, and that's what the symbol first came about. And a lot of those soldiers that came back, coming out of World War II, they when they came, Robert F. Williams is one of them. Basically, he was one of the first to arm Black people to defend rights under, exercising the Second Amendment. He was president of NAACP, and when racists and when the Ku Klux Klan were attacking the community, and I think a Black woman even got abducted and raped, he armed his NAACP chapter. They told him, "You can't. We're not with that. You can't do that. We're not violent." So he said, "Forget about it." And he started the Black Guard that society called Negro with Guns. So Robert Williams was the first, and that's supposed to be his background, to my understanding, that he was a part of that as well.
That was Monroe, North Carolina.
Yes. And then after that, you had the Deacons for Defense. And they were the second armed group of Black people who were, a combination of veterans and clergy. And then, yes, in Lowndes County, Alabama in 1965, which is the actual origins of the public document of the Black Panther Party, started by Stokely Carmichael, who's a SNCC, aka Kwame Ture, and H. Rap Brown, also known as Emmanuel Amin. He's resting proud of him, and Mikasa Ricks. They got together under the ideas of Kwame Ture, and they started the Black Panther Party to protect and secure the black vote in Lowndes County, Alabama, because black people would get beaten up at the polling stations, kidnapped, and lynched. And so he said, we're going to arm ourselves, use the Second Amendment to protect and defend ourselves. Then he journeyed to Oakland, and he went to Merritt College, and then at that time, um, Bob Steele and Huey P. Newton were students, and they were moved. They were in a group called Revolutionary Action Movement, which talked about armed resistance, that we had to decolonize ourselves to be liberated with an armed resistance. But everybody saw Kwame Ture armed now, so they wrote for permission to use the name and the symbol, and they were given permission, and that became another phase of the Panther, and the most popular phase of us coming out of Oakland, California. So that is within the history. But a short answer is yes. As a matter of fact, our National Minister of Defense is a veteran. He was in what do you call it? He did. I know he did 2 or 3 tours. And he I'm trying to think of his MOS. I know he'd probably be mad if I don't because I don't remember his MOS. But anyways, he's a veteran, and we have veterans right now within the party. And it's a very deep dynamic. But yeah, a lot of members were former veterans, including Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt, who helped train the LA chapter so dynamically that when the LAPD would try to do different things, we were able to hold down the chapter. So the SWAT team was created in LA just to deal with the tactics that he learned from the military that he taught that chapter in LA. The first time the SWAT team ever came into existence was in Los Angeles, California. And the first time they were used was on Black Panthers in that LA shootout. So that's the history of that and with that. And he was a decorated veteran, Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt. And he took the role of Bunchy Carter, who was assassinated, who was the leader, who actually brought in 5,000 Slauson gang members to become politically educated and now become a positive impact on the community. And then when this leadership got broken down, we know that those who know the history, the Slossons became Crips and all of the other stuff that happened. But the point is that the the youth that were Panthers that come out the Slauson tradition became that. And I mean that's some of the history. That's why a lot of the people that know the history call a lot of the organized street tribes or gangs bastards of the party because they are the offsprings of the revolution, and they just got social engineered in the other direction.
Well,
Um,
that kind of goes to the next question we have from Fred Jimenez, or Jimenez. Sorry, excuse me, Fred Jimenez. I believe is how you would pronounce it. Grew up in the '60s. Panthers had feds after them, and there were some violent, scary times. How are today's Panthers going to deal with all the bad connotations and conspiracy theories against the Panthers?
well, my parents were Panthers in the '60s, coming into the '80s. And I will say that, growing up a Cub, I grew up, on the principles. There is a lot of information, and my parents were very, very strong and strict on learning and studying. So there is a lot that comes with knowing the history, knowing that stuff to the extent that we were sometimes a little paranoid growing up because we thought everybody was the pigs or the feds. The mailman was, the delivery people were. That's just how that, sometimes you grow out of that, but you live with that. So to answer all of that, COINTELPRO, which was created by J. Edgar Hoover, he really started with Marcus Mosiah Garvey when it comes to black people. But anyways, J. Edgar Hoover started COINTELPRO, and there were different programs in COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO, the basic objective was to disrupt, distract. I'm gonna give you the actual breakdown so I could thoroughly answer that question. So it was to disrupt. I know neutralize is in it, but I don't want to take it out of context. So let me see. The basic objective that J. Edgar Hoover gave for COINTELPRO was to disrupt, expose, disrupt, distract, and neutralize. There you go. Goodness, yeah, expose, disrupt, distract, and neutralize. And he did that on many levels. They had a program called Brown Mail, how they used gossip and slander, character assassination, fake phone calls, fake messages from this person to that person. They created a feud in the Panther Party back then with the East Coast and West Coast split came out of that. They created an issue right here in Chicago where with Jeff Ford, Imam Malik, and Fred Hampton Sr. Rest in peace to him. And they created try to create a feud and a war. So they always have utilized that, but it's also the CIA had a program called MH Chaos, which the whole major objective was just to make major chaos and everywhere you could imagine in the black groups, and they had certain CIA operatives and informants that infiltrated the group. That was the CIA's program, was MH Chaos. The FBI's program was what do you call it, COINTELPRO, and then U.S. military intelligence used something called Operation Garden Plot, and that had other dynamics inside of it. And not only that, when we talking about answering that question, these programs, Nixon had some things. When Nixon came up with the Southern strategy, it wasn't just politics. He created the war on drugs. Look it up. John Ehrlichman, who was his top advisor, look it up. John Ehrlichman made it clear. He was the one who actually structured it. He said that the war on drugs is a proxy war designed against black people, that they couldn't just outright say we're attacking black people. So they used that as a proxy war to break up the Black Panther Party, to break up the civil rights movement, and to go after the white anti-war left. And that's what that was all about. And so how do we deal with it now? How we deal with that is that I'm not gonna put all our secrets out here, but I'm just saying how we deal with it. But I'm just gonna say what I could say to you, sir, is that we have a very strict process on joining. When you fill out an application, we screen you. We do backgrounds, and I'm just going to say publicly, there are two major things. I'm going to say two of the major things, not all of them, that could disqualify an applicant. One is if you have any type of sexual assault charges or anything like that, no matter what it is and what it entails, that's automatic disqualification.
So no MAGA can get in there. That's what's up. Gotcha.
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, Trump and people with him and Epstein. Yeah, none of them. Yeah, no MAGA at all. And the other thing is, if a person ever came up on someone's paperwork as an informant or an operative for any agency, anything like that, they definitely can't join. So those are some of the top two things. So we have that, and we have a process. So we have a probationary period. I know some of those questions are asked because of what recently happened with the whole Paul Bird song situation. I know that's why a lot of people ask the question, and it's like,
well,
did the algorithm just take off, or was that intentional?
Well, I think even more so than that, what I read into his question was not so much internally, but externally. The propaganda that has been spread about the Panthers, and this may be a good way to segue into what you guys are doing on the 7th, right?
Yeah.
The idea that whenever somebody says those words, Black Panthers, like, oh, well, it's also a psyop that people think that, oh, those are just those N words with guns. Those are those gangsters. Those are those Bloods and those Crips. Those are the GDs, right? The same street gangs that the offspring of that movement had turned into due to that same infiltration. And so I think more so than just, or equally at least, is not only you guys stopping that infiltration, but how do you project to others? How do you stave off that idea, those misconceptions of who you are. Like I said in the beginning, when you were giving those 15 points, and why
Yeah.
I said they need to be said.
Well, number one is, we tell our own narrative and our own story. So our work, does supersede it. Like, even me personally, anybody, go to my personal social media, which has a lot of that work. Our basic mission is to feed, clothe, shelter, train, defend. So if you have a Revolutionary Panther Party chapter, those are the things you have to be doing: food program, clothing programs, housing programs, training programs. We have literacy programs for people who need continued education, financial literacy, all different types of literacy. We have prenatal, postnatal care, domestic violence prevention, couples classes, drug treatment, drug rehabilitation. We also and we also train people for self-defense to be able to protect and defend themselves. And so that's what we provide. And so that's one thing we show and prove about the work that we actually literally do. The other dynamic is also just to break down who we are, what we are about. We've never been about that. The party came about out of necessity and out of oppression. Like, talk about the Lowndes County history, what Kwame Ture, that was to secure the black vote. The Oakland history, because of oppression in Oakland, the poverty, unemployment, poor housing, dilapidation, and the terror by police. What a lot of these police departments did in LA and in Oakland, they intentionally recruited people in like certain southern states that they knew at that time they were intentional. They screened them that would be very aggressive towards a black population, and that's what they sent out to attack the urban community. They didn't use the people that were there. And you got to think about it like this, not to get off topic, but it's just how we found out the fact that ICE has a facility in Israel, and that there are IDF agents that co-train. So it's like, whenever you have to attack a people, you always use a foreign person. Even though you got white people in Oakland, they got white people away from the South, and it's like almost like a Red Dawn scenario. If you're gonna really destroy a people, you want to bring people from the outside to do so, because regardless of how racist and barbaric the history of American policing is, because it started from the slave patrols, um, there is a certain level of things um, that certain people are just not going to do. Regardless of who gave them orders, nobody's going to intentionally mess up their own country and community. But when you have people who are from somewhere else, the same tactics they do in their own countries on the people they oppress. They're okay with doing that here in America. And like I said, a Red Dawn scenario. But the other thing I was going to say, as far as the stigma, yeah, they say that we're racist. They say that, oh, that's just the Black Ku Klux Klan. We've never been that, and we definitely are not racist. The Revolutionary Black Panther Party, we believe in all power to the people. Black power for black people, brown power for brown people, red power for red people, yellow power for yellow people, white power for white people, proletariat power to the proletariat, and women power for women. Now, a lot of times when I say white power for white people, a lot of my white comrades say, "Don't say that." But here's because that's become white power has become such a. But I said so. So here's the point: there's a toxic side to everything I just said. There could be a toxic side. There could be a toxic, women power, a toxic immigrant power, toxic proletariat power, toxic black, white, red, or yellow. What that mean by toxic? It can be toxic because um, how you're expressing that is to oppress other people and hate other people. That's not empowerment in a positive way. And so the point is that everybody needs power and everybody needs an identity, regardless of what is going on. If a white person is going somewhere and you have people who don't like him because he's white, he gotta have power and rights and stuff. I mean, that's not cool, to do that to anybody, regardless of race, color, or creed. It is a fact that America is very racist and structurally racist against black people. It's also true to the sociological definition that racism is prejudice plus power, which means that being that America is a predominantly white oriented society, we as black people, we can't be racist, but we can be hateful and prejudiced. Meaning we don't have the power in the housing, the employment, over the, we don't have the judicial power, we don't have the political power, but we can be hateful and prejudiced and wrong and evil. And that's just as bad. The same way women don't have the power to be sexist because it's a male dominated society. But a woman could be hateful and prejudiced and evil, whatever that goes along with that, et cetera, et cetera. But my point is that so
Still
we're
here.
not we are our ideology, one position, we are black nationals and Pan-Africans, but when we say black nationalism, it's not the same as when somebody, and I'm not trying to disrespect any white nationalists, I'm just saying it's not the same thing though. When we say black nationalists, because we've been treated as a nation within a nation, our communities have been treated like that, almost like we're colonized. And so basically that particular dynamic is for us to be able to protect and defend ourselves and survive. But we're also, we stand on human rights, we stand on internationalism, and we stand on being good people no matter where we are. And we're not racist or prejudiced against anybody. We believe in all power to the people. And ultimately, it's we the people, meaning that if we're going to pull this thing together, it got to be we the people, because the people that the ruling class target everybody. I always say it's a tier system, and it's true. They target all of us, whether you think you're MAGA or not. They coming after you. At the bottom of the tier system are white people and marginalized white communities. Above that is white women. Then you keep going, and above that you're going to get a tier of different and various immigrant groups. Arabs, Indian, Chinese, et cetera, et cetera. Then above that is Latino or Latinx or Hispanic, or et cetera, et cetera. And above that is black people. So the point is that, and Trump showed something. He said that Chicago was going to F around and find out what the Department of War mean, and he loved the smell of deportation in the morning. And we responded. We clapped back here in Chicago. We didn't play no games with that. We didn't take that lightly. Then after he started doing all this stuff in Chicago, say he wanted to bring the troops there to fight crime, and because crime has always been this dysphorism, like for black, and crime and status for immigrants. I mean, for brown people. I mean, not immigrants, but just brown people. Period. Getting back to the point, but he showed something. He went straight to Portland, the whitest city in America, and started wreaking havoc on white people. Renee Good is white, and so is Alex Petit is white. And as black people, we've been talking for a long time about how we could be driving in a vehicle and we haven't done anything. And it's true. I've experienced this my whole damn life. We could be driving in a vehicle, haven't done anything at all, not a criminal, everything's right, and you get pulled over, you get disrespected, you can get thrown out your car, slammed on your head, and you could get killed. We've been complaining about it for a long time, and then they'll lie. Well, he lunged the vehicle. He reached into his waistband. Oh, he did have a gun on him. Having a gun, carrying a gun doesn't constitute violence or you being a criminal. You have a right to do that, especially in states that have open carry and also concealed carry or constitutional carry laws, right? Like Philando Castile. There was no reason for what happened to him to happen to him. He was his partner was pulled over. He's the passenger. He says, I do have a concealed carry permit. And I have my firearm, and then he's just killed, shot 7 times, and he dies. And then they're like, "Oh, he had a gun. Gun don't constitute that." If carrying a gun meant that you were a criminal and violent, then every police is that. It wouldn't make no sense. Then that would also mean every soldier is that. It doesn't make sense. But the point is that not to get off topic. The bottom line is that we talked about that for a long time, and now they shown. It's like what Frederick Douglass said: you can't keep a person down, paraphrase, without going down with them. And these microaggressions of racism and fascism that have targeted black people now has become a macroaggression targeting and brown people, targeting everybody in America. And look what they did to Alex Perty, a nurse who worked at the VA, a good guy, cool dude. They ain't messing with nobody. They outright beat him down to the ground. One comes and goes into his pants and take his firearm out and run with it. And they execute him and then say, "Oh, he's a terrorist, came to do maximum damage." The dude was all over the ground getting beat up. They said Renee Good launched the vehicle. She was going away, and they jumped in front of the vehicle and shot her through the windshield in her head. But this is stuff they always did to us. Oh, he reached into his waistband. Oh, fit the description. Or this one is doing this and doing it. They've always been lying on us, and now we see the full effect with everything of what it is, from what ICE is doing to what CBP, all those other clowns are out there doing. Any other questions?
Outstanding.
Oh yeah, this
is blowing up. Sorry. Except for the fact that this cat keeps trying to put his butt inside his face. I don't know why cats love doing that.
Keep trying to.
That we not dark your color.
It's crazy out here. Here, I'll put up this one. So we had another. Oh dang, I got rid of it. What was the other? I just got rid of it.
It's in Star. It's candidates.
Does the Black Panther Party have any candidates running for office anywhere?
We have something called Drill the Vote is what I'm going to be doing starting next month. Really preparing this month, but fully engaging next month. And this is an initiative to encourage and to get younger people out voting, and also participation from younger people into the political dynamic of things. Now, many people say, they got all types of, voting is this and marching is this. They don't understand in any revolution, all of that is important. If the vote didn't matter, then they wouldn't target the vote. And if the gun didn't matter, they wouldn't target the gun. What do? They weaponize removing the vote and removing our ability to protect and arm ourselves. But yeah, we do. We definitely have people. As a matter of fact, here in this city, Jump Shepard running for U.S. Senate here, and he is a Revolutionary Black Panther. So we have people who definitely are being involved and getting involved, which is important.
Outstanding. I don't know if you see there at the bottom, we got one from Zone Fanfic. Evening. My question for Dr. Mohammed is, what are your thoughts on bad actor groups like ADOS, trademarked by Yvette Carnell, and FBA, trademarked by Tariq Nasheed, highly likely being COINTELPRO? They've both sold out to MAGA.
I know they're gonna watch this podcast, but let me.
Oh, they will.
Y'all be asking me the questions. Even you asked me, but so here's the point, and I'm gonna thoroughly answer.
Yes.
Okay, let's put it out there. I saw what's the dude from Fox News? Is it Jake Tapper? I think it's Jake.
No, Tapper is CNN, isn't he?
My list some of the Fox News people.
Jesse Waters.
Some of the people that were popular and not really on no more, but not besides.
You talking about Tucker Carlson.
Bingo. Yeah, so he gave them a plug. Talking about, I love those FBA guys. Yeah, he gave them a plug. Yeah, love them. Yeah, he didn't say he said I love them. Yeah, he gave them a plug.
That's when you on the wrong side, my man.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what he said. He said, I love those guys. So I'm going to thoroughly answer that question. When I answer it, it's going to be an answer that you could take back to, for the most part, be able to share with someone else. I wish I could have found that actual interview with Tucker Carlson said he likes the FBA. But anyway, yeah, he said and he even mentioned Tariq, but he told me Tariq, them guys, yeah, I love those FBA guys. And I was like saying, this is like really crazy. But he said that, but I'm gonna answer.
I got you. I'm gonna look for it. You go ahead and answer.
Okay, good. Because I actually found it, but you go ahead and look.
You got it. Okay, well you can put it in the.
Hold on.
He's in full-blown slumber right now.
Hold on. Wait. Give me one quick second. Okay, here it go.
They called you a racist for that? They did. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican. He is Panamanian.
Wait, hold on. What I do? Okay, my mistake.
And they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like, message.
Let's just run that back. I messed that up. Let's just run that back.
But anyway, yeah, he say he like those guys. You know, Tariq Nasheed. You know, he likes those guys. He's gonna go golfing with them. But here's the thing about it. So Tariq Nasheed, Tariq started off with the Pimp Macking series. That's what he was doing. So he started off with this series of books to, you know, guys that I'm just speaking now a little urban that be considered square, learning how to relate with women. So he had millions of actual followers in that dynamic with the Pimp Macking series, and he had a bestseller with that, and that got into social media. Then he started, in my opinion, he saw what was taking off in what we call the conscious community, and it was like a lot of stuff taking off, and so he got in that community, and he started a series called Hidden Colors, 1 through 5. And, you know, and that was a lot of people who consider themselves coming into, you know, Black conscious and stuff like that. And then he started going around Yvette Carnell and saw what she was getting from, like, what's his name? The damn racist bastard who is responsible for the anti-immigrant movement. What's his name? Goodness. I'm trying to think. I mean, the Madison Grant was the first, but I'm trying to think of his name right now. Anti-immigrant movement. Who's the father of the modern anti-immigrant movement? I'm getting somewhere with this.
Talking about Fuentes?
No. But PFIR, what she was a part of, is one of his groups. Trying to think. Anyways, it'll come back to me. I don't know why. And fair. FAIR. But my point is that she was a part of this right-wing anti-immigrant you know, dynamic where she was getting funding from them, and that's what ADOS really, you know, really is a hub for that, right? A hub
John Tanton.
for racist, white nationalist, anti-immigration, and blackface. And so Tariq Nasheed came around. I guess he didn't want to be under nobody, so he took her idea and put FBA on it and started the Foundation of Black America, which is no more than MAGA and blackface. That's all it is. Chocolate cover MAGA and chocolate cover white racist anti-immigrationists. That's all it is. And it is definitely like a psyop, and it does definitely smell like COINTELPRO. They created a new slur called tether, new cult-like ideology called being on code and off code, and their whole entire mission and purpose is to hate immigrants, Black immigrants, from anywhere in the Caribbean or the continent of Africa, and other immigrants, brown immigrants, all immigrants, of course, for some reason not the white ones. And just like MAGA, and not only that, to push policy like that and to push support for Donald Trump and to hide and say it's about reparations, but haven't done anything constructively. But yeah, it's just Black MAGA. That's all it is, a new form of Black MAGA, and it serves no purpose to anything at all. It's just absolutely garbage and crap, and it fools people because he try to confuse people like FBA means like saying Black or African American. It does not. When people use the term African American or Black, no one ever say, oh, if you're not Black or you're not African American, you're tethered. Nobody ever made slurs from that. This is a cult movement. It's not even anything real. And the ideology surrounded by MAGA and white anti-immigration nationalism and blackface. That's all it is. To answer that question, I hope I answered your question.
So, yeah, we there's a whole lot of questions. So I want to make sure that we get to what's happening on the 7th, but there's some more stuff. So let me get you oh, my gain is GX6 VM says, sorry I was late to the live, but does RBPP accept other people of backgrounds, not just black folks?
Well, here's how this, and to thoroughly answer that question. So, um, and I'm gonna answer it thoroughly, but I just want to put this before I do. So, there is a women's liberation movement. I support the rights of women, but I'm not a woman. So I definitely can't directly join the women's lib movement, but I can definitely be involved in coalition with them. And so this is how I go. The Revolutionary Black Panther Party, we're Black Panthers. So we're for the self-determination and empowerment of black people in that juncture. But we do have coalitions with other people. So we have a people's coalition membership for people who are not black. So that means if you are a white comrade and you want to be affiliated, you definitely can do an application and be a coalition member. In essence, it's a people rainbow coalition. And not that I'm attacking rainbow, but for some reason when you say rainbow these days, people just think we're talking about one thing, but we mean the human rainbow. We mean the black, brown, red, and yellow coming together and unite. So we have a coalition membership that comrades who are not black can engage and be involved in. And to be honest with you, we kind of always had that. That was actually started in this city with Fred Hampton Sr. Rest in peace to him. He started the Rainbow Coalition with the Young Patriots who were white and had around from Appalachians, working class white people, with the Young Lords who happen to mostly be Puerto Rican, and the Brown Berets who are mostly Chicano or Mexicano, et cetera, et cetera. And to this day, we have a coalition with Brown Berets and Young Lords, and also white comrades throughout the spectrum. So, if you are a person who's non-black and you want to be a part of Revolutionary Black Panther Party, yeah, we have a place for you. You can do application. It's just a difference between the fact of our self-determination and our own autonomy, and understanding that some people get confused. So, we stand up for the protection and security of our rights and our humanity as black people. And in that juncture, we stand strong on that. But we also stand for black and all oppressed people, whether it's black, brown, red, yellow, or white. And that's the difference, because a part of our survival deals with the fact that we stand up for our humanity. But the short answer is, if you're interested in joining, yeah, you can be a part of our coalition.
Okay. So we have other questions, but I felt it pertinent to put on some people who I enjoy watching the Grits and Eggs podcast, just to further reiterate the point.
Black American. These niggas ain't involved in nothing outside. They ain't doing shit outside. They on the internet looking for niggas that look just like them to degrade and call tethers all day. I don't see these niggas doing no work against none of these fucking Nazis, none of these fucking Klansmen, nothing. All I see is them niggas calling out other black people all day. That's divisive as fuck. Questioning niggas. Where you from? Where was you born? Nigga gotta show you your freedom papers? Damn, massa. I gotta show you the freedom papers? Who is these niggas on this nag? Bunch of motherfucking Stevens over there trying to check a nigga blood. Want to check a nigga papers. Sound like ICE.
Excuse the language, white folks. I'm just saying we're here today to be honest, and this is how it sounds in the black neighborhood where they actually care. So yeah, we can continue on with the show. Sorry about that, sir. I hope we don't get demonetized for that. Big sorry.
I actually wrote a book. Let me see if I can put the link to. I can't even get the link. I'm using this phone, but after the fact, I can send the link. I wrote a book that's called "MAGA and Blackface: The Hijacking of Black Power by the FBA Movement." So I got a book, FBA Cult Movement. I have a book that I wrote about that. And so here's the thing now. One of the things about it is that it's very true, but they compel me to, to do what they, the whole lineage thing. I went back, I was able to, go to the 1870s and 1840s, with my lineage on, on that side of my family, my, Black of America, part of my family. Point that it's just garbage, what they do, that it's divide and conquer. It's silly. But it's also funny because Steve Bannon said he was going to have something like that. He said that if he could get 20% of the black community to be confused and disrupted, that he was going to do it. He was going to put millions to do it. And Elon Musk ain't too far around the corner from doing that. And Trump himself is not too far. So, yeah, all of that is garbage. It's a code. It's nothing conducive to our liberation at all.
February 7th. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Okay, very, very good. So February the 7th, 2026, Cookeville, Tennessee. We want all people who believe in justice and who are against fascism, genocide, and racism, and the MAGA regime to stand up armed with us in Cookeville, Tennessee. Now, the primary basis, Dawson McCracken. Name is spelled Dawson, first name, last name McCracken, M lowercase c, capital Cracken, was murdered June 8, 2025 in Cookeville, Tennessee. So let me give some background. So Dawson's mother is white, his father's black. And so everybody see her children, these are black children, right? Most people don't know, and I'm gonna just tell the story. Dawson actually voted for Trump. Dawson was pro MAGA, pro law enforcement. They were very conservative Christian before this happened. The top of the family was. So that's giving some background. So he wasn't even somebody. He was actually an ally, if anything, to them. In that juncture. And he didn't. They didn't do it ill will. They felt that being that was who they were as conservative Christians. That's what they supported. For a lot of people who get duped to think that it's based on family values and it's just some other stuff. Because Trump ain't got no damn family values. I mean, Melania's a porn star, and all that stuff Trump was doing, being a power bottom, doing whatever he doing to bubble, putting his phallus in his mouth. I don't want to get into all of that, but whatever. Epstein Island ain't got nothing to do with no values. But getting back to the point, and all those MAGA people that's on that stuff is garbage. But let me not get distracted. So what happened is that his sister called for a welfare check because he said he didn't feel well. He felt like he shouldn't live. It's a mental health dynamic. But he wasn't violent, wasn't aggressive. When the Cookeville police, who happens to have a lot of racism in their ranks, came to the home, they saw that his fiance was white. And so she pulled out his picture, and one of them, she said, got red. And he was like, he ever put his hands on you? Start saying all this crazy stuff. And so then when they finally came to him, one of the officers approached him and had an AR in his hand, and it's recorded. It's on the cams, and he's like, "Y'all are here to kill me." He said, "I just don't feel good today." He said, "I just feel horrible." Just paraphrasing what he says, and he kept letting them know, he won't harm them, not even gonna harm himself. He just, needed somebody to talk to. So instead of them having a crisis intervention team come out, it seems like since the shift was changing, they just said, F it talking to him. F it trying to talk to this person who just needed somebody to talk to and needed an anchor of support. One of them took his AR-15, fired until it jammed. I think he got like 21 shots out of it. And then the other walked up over his body while he's wounded by this AR and you might as well say just about dying. And he unloaded his magazine, but he shot him in his body first, and which means he had to count the shot because he made sure the last shot was a kill shot to his head. And on the audio recordings that we have now that the public doesn't have, Dawson is saying, "Why are y'all shooting me? I'm not gonna harm you. I didn't do anything to y'all." But they blared that out when certain people did get it. But there's audio saying it. But my point is that to summarize what happened to him, Dawson McCracken. They came to him, they shot him 36 times and killed him for no reason. He didn't point any guns at them. He didn't pose any threat to them. He just needed help. And they killed him because he was a black man over 6 feet. And that's really what it was. With a white fiance. And so.
Yeah, that's a big part. Let's make sure you remember that part.
Yeah. So that's what happened to him. So February 7th, 2026, we're asking people to stand up against fascism, oppression, racism, and also this MAGA regime. Come to Cookeville, Tennessee, February 7, 2026 for the Armed March. That's what it's called. Armed March against genocide, fascism, racism, and this MAGA regime. Justice for doctrine and practice. We want you to come. Everybody who supports the Second Amendment. And people will say, well, what does that have to do? See, Dawson also, on person, he had a firearm. He never reached for it. He never pointed it. When they shot him down to the ground, he had a firearm, but he never pointed at anybody, never reached for it, none of that. It's all on video. But my point is that it's trippy. Just because you carry don't make you violent or pose a threat. And if you believe in the Second Amendment, that if you have in a similar situation, we're all human. We all go through something, especially those of you who are veterans. You already know how that goes. A lot of veterans. PTSD. I'm a psychologist. I specialize in trauma and PTSD. So here's the point. So you can have any type of crisis. If you want to be in a crisis because you may have a firearm in your possession, not pointing at anybody, maybe in your pocket, maybe concealed in your holster, like it was concealed. His own was concealed. They just knew that he was a carrier. But anyways, that don't make you a target. It should never, because if that's the case, every police is a target, every soldier is a target. It doesn't make sense. But the point is that we are inviting everybody out to Cookeville, Tennessee, March the 7th, 2026, for the Armed March against genocide, fascism, and the MAGA regime. Now, if someone said genocide, that's a big word. Well, here's the point of that. According to actual current, the last statistic was done on December of 2024, and in that statistic, it deals with the actual level of police killings amongst Black people, and I'm going to give you some statistics. According to Economic Institute, June 5th, 2020, and a report entitled Black Deaths at the Hands of Law Enforcement, it says that Black deaths at the hands of law enforcement are linked to historical lynchings. U.S. counties where lynchings were more prevalent from 1877 to 1950 have more officers involved killings. George Floyd's death was more than just a murder. It was a modern day lynching. The agonizing similarity in the death of Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor is that current former police officers participated in their lynchings. From 1870 to 1950, nearly 4,000 individuals were the victims of lynchings. Some have speculated that as many as 75% of the historical lynchings were perpetrated with the direct or indirect assistance of law enforcement personnel. Despite drawing attention from large crowds, many perpetrators of historical lynchings were never charged with the crime because police did deputize a lot of people at those lynchings. According to Huffington Post, November 4, 2015, report entitled Police Killings Surpassed the Worst Years of Lynching. It states police in the United States killed nearly 300 African Americans each year, a number that surpasses the highest annual tolls of lynching during the Jim Crow era, 300. So that's almost every day, right? According to the Washington Post, Fatal Force, people who have been shot and killed by police from 2015 to 2024, it states 2022, 261 Black people killed. That was as of December 29, 2022. 2023, 251 Black people killed. That was as of December 27, 2023. And 2024, 259 Black people were killed that year. That was as of December 30th, 2024. So we're talking about every 28 to 34 hours in this country, a Black person is killed by law enforcement. In any other country, that would be considered ethnic cleansing and genocide. So that's where the term is there. Also, not only that, what ICE is doing to the brown community is definitely a form of genocide and ethnic cleansing. And so, we already know the MAGAs on this great replacement theory idea, just like FBA do it in blackface. They got the blackface version of great replacement theory, but it is what it is.
Real quick, somebody asked this. So far as I know, there won't be a Sons of Liberty live of this. We're gonna try to get it on Political Drain, though. I want to let you know that, BigSarge. And for some people who may be on Political Drain is the other channel that I'm on. In case people, there's a lot in this chat who don't know. On that channel, on the same day after 5, because the thing is from the actual march. The armed march is from 3 to 5, correct?
Correct. 3 to 5 p.m. Yes.
After that, okay, at 3:30 to 5. After that, Political Dread is also doing a fundraiser on our channel, and you did not know that, Dr. Ali, but this was something I wanted to present here live to people. This is for all of it. So we're going to be doing a fundraiser. After that, we're going to try to get it live, and then directly after that, it's going to be a fundraiser where we're going to be giving away stuff. There's ways to win things, but we're trying to raise money for the resistance. There's people who need. We've got agents on Spec Ops who need clean phones. We've got people who are in dire need of camping trips, and we're kind of running out of ways to get them there. And there's also a PR code, a QR code that I can't show on here for the Panthers as well. And we plan on helping out on all 3 of those fronts after this march. So you guys go to Political Drain. We're doing a live fundraiser for the whole thing. We're just trying to. It's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about Black history. We're going to be talking about what we just saw. If we can get it live, we are trying. I promise, Dr. Ali. But you guys make sure that you keep that Saturday open, because we're going in, people. We're going in, and we'd like to do what we got to do.
Very good. For those of you can come again, you come to Cookeville, and support. Stand up armed, for justice and justice for this family. Stand up armed against Margaret regime. This would be the first time that we as the people can come together to stand up, show that we are armed against fascism and that we're armed against this Margaret regime. Because too often people are under the assumption that only people on the right could be armed, so they don't understand that there's a lot of us who are armed and who believe in being armed, and and who believe in protecting and defending ourselves.
Working on it. Plan to stream.
Oh, there it is.
Or be there.
So that's the other part. Is one thing that the Sons of Liberty has that Political Drain does not, is that membership and that Discord and the group of people who have said, yeah, I don't want to be a part of this. Whenever we have things like this going on, especially when we have things like this going on with historic groups that can be trusted, and especially for reasons that are about helping others, and are about helping our fellow men, that are about getting justice, and especially when they're armed. The Sons of Liberty, all of you in that chat section, should want to make it your best effort to have our flag there, right? So you can be there, think about it, try. Everybody's having a hard time, but these are the types of things that we would like to see. And now, SOL, we're also going to be live. We're working on it. Hopefully, we can be live. If not, Political Drain will be live but we're going to be live for this here. So if you can't make it there. Try to make it there, especially if you're SOL and you're in Tennessee. Make it there. It's Saturday. Make it there. Show up if you can. If you're in Alaska and you can't get there, you can probably see it live here. And then afterwards, we're doing that Spec Ops. We're doing the Spec Ops fundraiser, which, like I said, is needed for a lot of things going on. So it's a lot of stuff happening on Saturday, and it all starts with this, man.
Appreciate it. Somebody asked about other socials. For me, my
Yeah.
IG is Dr_ALLI_Muhammad. That's Dr_Ali Muhammad. Dr_Ali_Muhammad. That's my IG. Dr_ALI_MUHAMMAD. Also, Facebook is same ALLI Ali, middle letter O, MUHAMAD. That's Ali O Muhammad. And TikTok. You can find me on TikTok. I think with the same actual the same credentials, you should be able to find me on TikTok. Trying to think. I think my TikTok is like I am Naeem's father or something like that. But I'm trying to if one of you see it, if maybe you can probably put that pin that whenever you can or whenever you go over the video. But if you all want to reach me, I mean not reach me, you want to follow my socials, you can do that. IG is Dr_ALLI_MUHAMMAD. Facebook is Ali O Muhammad. That's ALI, middle letter O, MUHAMMAD. And like I said, I don't know the TikTok offhand.
I think everybody's getting off TikTok anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that other one's name that everybody keeps saying? Eric, are you on this? And I'm like, what is that? I don't know.
Feed, up, shoot, up,
stream,
something.
up, boot. I don't know.
And TikTok is @justice, @justice for Naeem Carter 614. That is the @sign, the word justice, the word for FOR, and NAYIM, last name Carter CARTER 614. So @justice for Naeem Carter 614, and also Dr. Lee Muhammad MD. You probably could just put my name in and I'll come up on TikTok or either one of the platforms. But I guess that's it for that.
Benny Loco, good to see you here. Trump talk. That's exactly what it's called. That's what it is. Trump talk.
Trump talk.
Trump talk, man.
Just
Paul
like,
Temple, I'll try to get you in touch if I can, sir.
just like the beef. You have any conditions? Candidates running for? Oh yeah, we answered that.
Did we?
Yeah.
My fault.
I thought you had a follow up.
No, did we follow up with the I think there was part of the question about when you were talking about the FAB or FSA, something like that, the organization. Yeah. And your personal perspective or even just the organization's perspective on, I guess, Black MAGA, call them MAGA blackface. Kind of wanted to get you to elaborate more on that.
Yeah, well, I think the sickest thing in the world is the whole Black MAGA garbage. I don't even know how it could exist. It's like it's an oxymoron to me. It's like it's so my opinion on Black MAGA. Black MAGA is just that. It's no more than the Great Replacement theory in blackface. Is no more than anti-immigration white nationalism in blackface. Is no more than Trumpism in blackface. And we already know what MAGA is. MAGA is a fascist, disgusting, hateful, deplorable regime, and they're also scammers. They're just stealing and taking all kind of stuff. So the whole my idea of Black MAGA is garbage. It's like saying Black Confederacy or Black Nazis because it's the same exact thing. It's Nazi ideology, it's Confederate ideology, and then you put Black on it. It's just insane. I know that a lot of Black people. I'm gonna tell you, it's pretty much 2 or 3 reasons why, in my opinion, though, that Black people are involved in it. some black people get, manipulated because of, their religious background, and so they feel that, because, they go to church, they're Christian, that somehow Trump, support their values. I don't know where that confusion came from, but they think so. And that's how that
that's the
goes when this
Christian
dude don't have
that's
any values.
that is simply that the whole idea of church has destroyed the mind of many of these people. And I'm not, I mean, I even still consider myself a Christian. So I say that first, although I have to, because when I say the next thing I'm going to say, people going to think I'm a demon. Church has been the number one thing to turn normal human beings into demons and devils. The Christian church. And when they say my values, what they mean is abortion and gays, and that's it. That's it. I don't want gay people around me. I don't like trans people around me, and nobody should get an abortion because I'm a sheep, and I can't think of anything past the pulpit of the pastor who's, by the way, fucking the kids and the sheep after they get off stage. So anyway, that's what they mean by values. Just in case people needed to understand what they meant by values. But you can continue, sir. I apologize.
Okay, so that's one reason why. The second reason why, it's like, it's the whole money thing. Some of them on a certain tax bracket, and they feel all this stuff that Trump talks, pro, certain tax brackets. That's the other reason why. And then the third reason why, and I've heard this when I probe people when they're so pro-Trump and anti-immigrant. Some of these people were in relationships with people that were from other countries, and they mad at them, and so they mad at them, and they got some. They just need therapy or some counseling, and that's why they support it too. So they either hate immigrants already, it's their religion, or it's money, and that's the only. There's no other reason why. As far as the book, somebody asked me about the book. So the book's name is actually, the full name is Change Reforged: The FBA Cult and the Death of Black Revolution. And again, it's Change Reforged: The FBA Cult and the Death of the Black Revolution. And it can be found, MAGA and Blackface. It can be found on Gumroad. Is actually what I have it on. I'm gonna let me see if I could copy this link, and I'm gonna send it to y'all. But anybody want to get the book, it's a very, very, very powerful book, because I break down every aspect of what it is, and really how some of the arguments that they use is contradictory, because they said, those people don't like us, and then I'm saying the same argument you make, we got those issues amongst ourselves already. Black people from the South be hating on black people from up north, and vice versa. They say, "Oh, you Bamas," and then they'll be like, "Oh, bougie," and all type of different West Coast, East Coast. We can be in the same city and have issues, and that ain't just black people. That's everybody too. White people too. That's just humans. Humans gonna always have some issues with other humans, and make an excuse, make an actual excuse to hate other humans. Give me 1 second. To make an excuse to hate other humans and have other people misery love company type thing. Did I go out? Okay, I'm back. Am I here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put it in the chat. How to get that book. Okay, it should be there. Hopefully, there it is. Yeah. So anybody that wants that book, or any of my other books, they can get it there on Gumroad. And again, the title of that particular book again is Change Reforged. Wait, let me go back to it. Change Reforged is the main title of the book, and the whole title: Change Reforged: The FBA Cult and the Death of the Black Revolution, MAGA and Blackface Exposed. And you can get that on some of my other books. Um, I got one book is Pan Europeanism, and then there's some other books talks about drill culture and this IG baddie, to get into some stuff that is very toxic within the community. So some of the other books I have. So if you want to contribute, definitely, it would be cool. Also, too, if anybody was interested in giving a monetary contribution, definitely, it takes resources to be able to do what it is, that we do. I also put in the chat. That's the Cash App. If anybody's interested, RPP National HQ1 is how you can help. RPP National HQ1. Any type of monetary contribution is supportive and can help. And I guess hopefully that answered. There's another question. Oh, yeah. So that
No,
is
I copied the link that you
oh,
gave
cool.
and I pinned it so that people can type it in before the end of the stream.
Cool. Very good. Very, very good.
Man, I don't know about anybody else, but that may have been one of the most educational, uh, educational, informative, intentional lives I've ever been a part of, man. Listening to you speak, listening to you go over the history, listening to you go over the connections, inspirational that I've ever been a part of. That I appreciate it, man. That I don't know. We may have more questions. We can stay on longer, but I'm just saying, I
Well, I
definitely appreciate it, brother.
thank you. I appreciate both of you brothers. I appreciate. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt. I did have a follow-up question.
Sure.
I just what type of training for when you talk about self-defense? Obviously, the one thing that most people think about when they think about Black Panthers is the iconic image of armed Black men standing on some steps to a building. So that's what everybody thinks of because that's what's kind of been burned into the collective conscious. Never mind the fact that Black Panthers, have a history of building mutual aid networks for communities. So, with regards to armed protest, what kind of training that you can speak of, do you and advice do you have for the people in the Revolutionary Black Panther parties who go out to protest that are armed? Because nothing scares old white people like Black people with guns walking down the street, I guess.
So the question is, what type of training do we have?
That you can publicly speak of. I'm sure you probably have some
Yeah.
proprietary stuff.
Well, yeah. So we in the Revolutionary Panther Party, we have two boot camp training each year, and when I say boot camp, is also like a return boot camp, meaning that one of them is a week long, the other one can be up to 30 days, just depending on the person's time. I'm not going to say exactly where, but we have three camps that we do training. Basically, we go over conventional military battle drills like battle drill 1. We go all the way through the battle drills. That's in the party. And as much as I can give out, I'm just going to say that. Then we also have civilian-based training where we train people, not those military battle drills. Most seasoned Revolutionary Panthers are trained pistols, rifles, shotguns, and proper carry, all that good stuff, and field medic type training as well. Also, as far as hand-to-hand combatants, we have a system that's called Tutakinga. That's a Kiswahili word for self-defense. If anybody is familiar with McMap that the U.S. Marine Corps has, or Krav Maga, it's kind of similar to that, but there's some modifications, and that comes out of also my experience. I studied wushu at the age of 5 from my father all the way up to age 12. then got into Okinawa Kobayashi, Shorin Karate, earning a black belt. And then 5 years boxing, 5 years Muay Thai, 2 years Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and military type combative training as well. So that is what we offer. Um, and um, and most seasoned Revolutionary Panther Party members are well trained. As far as rules of engagement, on an international level, we believe in the Geneva Convention and international humanitarian law, which means that the only people that ever get injured if we have to go into battle are enemy combatants and not civilians. And those are soldiers who are enemy combatants, and we believe in the Geneva Convention dynamic that's also humanitarian as well. That if you take a POW, you feed them, you treat them right. If you ever get captured, you give rank and serial number. On a domestic level, militia, all the rights that come along with that, and all that applies to that. So that is some dynamic into what we are in that way. But then it's like a uniqueness because then we're also political in the context of, we believe in having people go into politics, having people go into office and things like that. So we're multifaceted, but in the ways of being armed and defense, yeah, that's our position. And as much as I can answer, that's what we stand on.
Right. Follow up to that. I'm presuming you have people who are interested in taking self-defense and learning about their Second Amendment rights,
Yes.
but they're afraid of guns. Basically,
Happens.
they don't. How do you overcome that with them?
Well, a lot of times the people that are afraid of guns, sometimes it's for like spiritual reasons. Sometimes it's just, for I'm gonna say, and no disrespect to anybody, like utopian reasons. Like, oh, I don't want to pick up a gun. No, I just don't want to harm anybody. So one thing I always try to explain to people is that there's not one thing that exists on this planet or even within the universe that don't have some type of defensive mechanisms. Like I even tell people, even roses have thorns. And if certain insects bite into it, they'll die by some of the fluid that's in the rose, because even the rose protects itself. Trees have sap and other things that kill insects and predators that can try to destroy it. Even fruits to a certain extent, But the point is that when it comes to not wanting to do that, self-preservation and self-defense is of the first laws of nature. Even our bodies are designed like that. We have an immune system that protects us from foreign things coming to attack us. And so we never had a time in human existence where we weren't able to put it like this. When we understand ourselves as human beings, our whole existence have been about survival. Even sex is about survival. When we saw someone that could be our companion, it was about survival. Does this person have what's necessary to carry my progeny into the future? That's what men did. Women the same way. Is this person resourceful? That's a part of our human evolution. It's always about survival. So the point is that self-defense, which is it's connected to the first laws of nature, self-defense and self-preservation. So people who are against it just understand that it's a difference between self-defense and being an aggressor and being offensive. That we have it is a natural thing to defend yourself. They come from a religious perspective. What did Jesus say in the Bible? Jesus talked about, he said that when I send you out into the world, did you lack anything? What he said? He said, did you, I'm just saying for the religious people. He said, did you lack anything? He said, when I send you out. He said, so from this day forward, paraphrase, and he said, if you don't have your sword, sell your person, buy one. His only instruction was, if you live by it, you die by it. Put it up, if you live by it, you die by it. So he didn't say, that. But the point is that he said, don't be out here lacking. He said, did you lack anything? Don't be lacking. Then you go into where those scriptures talk about the strong man protects and defend, paraphrasing, his or her home. I mean, the strong person, their home. Um, so the point is that if it's a spiritual reason, then it says in those spiritual scriptures that you should be armed. If it's a political thing, it makes no sense not to be. The Second Amendment says that if it's a human thing, as humans, our actual objective is survival. Self-preservation and self-defense is the first law of nature. So even though we think that we don't want to do it, a murderer, a rapist, a predator, a MAGA, ICE, Gestapo, fascists, whoever they are, they're going to try to take your life. So you need to be able to protect your life, your family, yourself. And I believe that women should be able to know how to properly protect and defend themselves and be armed, to the extent, whichever healthy way we can teach children, and also, men, everybody. The thing about it is, I remember some years back when I went and got some NRA credentials to be able to do the pistol classes and the rifle training and all of that for people, and to give people to put people in a position to get their CWP. I remember where I went to get it and how I was like the only black person. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. But my point is that there's also training that is given to children in those environments. So my point is that I'm saying that to say that people that have this reluctancy, there's environments where children are even trained. And so in the Virtual Panther Party, we have healthy classes like that as well, where children see firearms, they know if no adult is around, don't touch it, safety protocols, because just because you don't have firearms in your house, they can be in their friend's house. So the proper way for children to handle a firearm when no adult is around, and if they have to use it for self-defensive purposes or field training, or whether you go hunting, whatever it is, we instruct as well, but also sport and self-defense as well. But to answer that question, um, every human being must understand self-preservation and self-defense is not a choice. It's of the laws of nature, that we exist and that we continue to exist in that way. That's why the Second Amendment is important. That's why UN Article 51 is important. That's why the Universal Declaration of Human Rights Article 3 is important. What talks about our right to life and liberty, and all of that other stuff, that we have a right to live. Those things are important, if that answers the question.
Yep.
Outstanding. What else you got? Sarge, I'm done. I don't even know what to say no more.
We did have a couple of people who joined late.
Yeah.
So they missed kind of the initial stuff, and there were a couple of questions about the Revolutionary Black Panther Party being cool with the LGBTQ community, and whether or not that was a thing, because they missed, your earlier part where you talked about that.
Okay. I gave a speech at the Supreme Court a couple of months back. Some people may be able to find that on some of my socials, or also Think Refuse Fascism has it on their on their website. But here's the number one: when it comes to human beings, and I don't want anybody offended when I say it like this, but whoever a person has intercourse with and has a relationship with, that's their business. I don't even understand why people made that an issue, in the first place, just to be bigots. So when it comes to LGBTQIA plus, we support every human's right to be who they are and to love who they are. That's nobody should be in opposition to that. We believe in power to the people. Black power for black people, brown for brown, red for red, yellow for yellow, white for white, proletariat to proletariat, and yes, LGBTQIA plus power to that community as well. You have a right. That's actually a human right in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and I think it's either point Article 12 or Article 14. It talks about that everybody has a right to marry and to have a relationship with whoever they want to have one with. So whatever consenting adults do, whether it's marriage or relationship or whatever they want to do, that's their business, and we support that. So Yeah, we don't have any. We support everybody's human rights.
Mic drop. That's it.
There it is. And there you go. Want to hit? Here you go. Outstanding, man.
We believe in solidarity with good people, just like we had a People's Coalition, Remo Coalition of the People in the '60s. I do feel that with Sons of Liberty and others, that this here definitely is the embarking of a People's Coalition. You know, what people don't understand is that we all may have different ideologies and our cadres or organizations, but our basic objective and goals are the rights of the people, the protection, security, and safety of the people, to make sure that everybody has a country and land they can live in peace and rights and justice. That's what we all want. And we also all are against fascism. So those are the things that we have in common. And we never should ever be divided as the people with the things we don't have in common. If one thing the George Floyd uprising taught us was the fact that when black people, white soccer moms, Arabs, Indians, everybody, veterans, everybody got together to stand up for what was right, it made some change happen too. And we got to always remember that. The people divided can never be defeated. And it's not some of the people, it's we as all of the people, and all power to the people.
All power to the people. I'm good with that.
Yep.
Y'all remember the 7th. We're gonna try to do it here live, SOL. But in Tennessee, give it. Matter of fact, hold on, real quick. It is one more time. The March Against Genocide, Fascism, Terrorism, Poverty, and MAGA, especially for the case for justice for Dawson McCracken, will be Cookeville, Tennessee, City Hall, 45 East Broad Street, Cookeville, Tennessee, 38501. And they got the number there, 918-438-5540. We need to show up. If you can't show up, we need to do all the things, man. Donate, be here for the live. We're going to try and do it here live. Be here at Political Drain afterwards for the raising of the money for these groups and for the Spec Ops team. And let's just show up, man. We need each other more than ever. That's my last words. We need each other more than ever. And the whole point of having groups like this is to know that we are not alone.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The people united can never be defeated.
I feel like we should just end it on that note because you can't top that. It's just gilding the lily.
But I appreciate you, brothers. All power to the people. And I'm hoping and that, those who listen tonight, that some of you come out and you support February the 7th. Please come out. It's the armed march. We have an opportunity to show them that we too on this side can be armed with discipline and stand up against fascism and injustice. Because as Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. All power to the people.
2 claps in the Rick.
Do you know 2 claps in a Rick?
No, you're going to figure it out as we do it.
It's a thing that I do at the end of my videos. I just say 2 claps in a Rick and then
2
Ric
claps.
Flair.
Woo. And then Ric Flair. Woo!
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I got it now.
That's going to be our show for tonight. I got another live stream tomorrow with, I believe, Josh Turek. I have to update my live stream schedule. Dr. Mohammed, thank you so much for being on here tonight with Sons of Liberty. And we stand in solidarity to support your march on Saturday, February 7th, exercising your Second Amendment rights. And if you're in Sons of Liberty, Get your sweet ass to Tennessee. Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother Sarge, and appreciate you, brother Drill Sergeant, brother Doug. So you all have a very powerful night, and looking forward to more of this as well. And for Sons of Liberty, anybody who is a member, please come out, and all power to the people, family.
2 claps and a Rick.
Woo!
I heard that. My wife did it from the back bedroom.
I'm
All right,
out.
that's our stream. Oh, I got to press the button, don't I?